the Baltimore Ravens are getting so much more out of Jaire Alexander than I think they initially expected to. And that's fantastic for the team because his leadership, his presence, everything is just so infectious. We hear about it from jump. Obviously, the play on the field. You're getting one of the best cornerbacks in the game, and he is healthy now, like all the way healthy now, and that's a beautiful thing. We heard about his matchups with guys like DeAndre Hopkins, how they went back and forth, how DeAndre Hopkins caught him with a back shoulder completion, but it was ruled out of bounds, but Jaire Alexander still showed respect for DeAndre Hopkins. He gave him a bow like, hey, you got me, but I still got you too. And then he got him back the next play. Then we heard about how Tez Walker beat him deep. And shout out to Tez Walker for making plays, continuing to make plays. But he ended up getting his get back on Tez Walker right away. And then my favorite of all was when they said Jaire Alexander, toward the end of practice, he was matched up with Mark Andrews. They getting ready to go one-on-one. It's like, ooh, all right, let's get it, baby. Then the Baltimore Ravens say, hold up, stop. And they stopped practice. And Jaire Alexander, he was heated. Mark Andrews was upset because they are two competitors, because they wanted to go at each other, and that's a beautiful thing. We got Nate Wiggins doing the Jaire Alexander celebration, and we expect to see a lot of that this upcoming season. It's going to be a lot of fun for the Baltimore Ravens and that defense. But then Jaire's impact, it goes far beyond just on the football field. Obviously, it's going to be on the football field because having Jaire Alexander allows the Baltimore Ravens to do so much more in their secondary and just the defense overall. But like I said, it goes off the football field because Jaire Alexander, his leadership, when they talked about the Breakfast Club, the guys that work out early in the morning, or like 6 in the morning, they said, if you are there at 6, okay, you're good. If you're there at 6:01, no, you're not getting in. And he said it's guys like Marlon Humphrey who are there. John Harbaugh, the head coach, he's in the building. But Jaire Alexander is somebody that's there as well. The way that Jaire Alexander, the way he even speaks about the Baltimore Ravens, he said he loves it. He said he loves the city. He said he loves the fans. He's been loving everything about this team. He said just the vibe. The vibes were right. And he talked about how he initially didn't even plan on signing with the Baltimore Ravens when he came in on that visit. And he said the vibes were just, they were immaculate. So he ended up becoming a member of the team. And that goes right along with what his father Landis said when we had the pleasure of having a conversation with him on here. Y'all make sure y'all check out that video. But we had the pleasure of having a conversation with Jaire Alexander's dad, and he said the same exact thing happened when he went to go visit Louisville. He had other offers. He had other schools that he was interested in going to, but he went to Louisville for a visit, and things went so smoothly, and he said the same, hey, it was just the vibes, and he ended up joining the Louisville Cardinals. And it obviously worked out for him. He ended up being a first-round pick and has had plenty of success in the NFL. And like his old Louisville teammate Lamar Jackson said, Jaire Alexander is still that guy. I love how Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton, they talked him up big time. They talked about how they just feel Jaire Alexander, his swagger is something that this Baltimore Ravens defense needs. And it is. Because you can have some people that have that quiet confidence, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes you got to have them people that will talk about it and show it out loud. You need that healthy balance of both, and that'll make your team that much better. And that's exactly what Jaire Alexander brings. He even talked about it. He said, hey, I want to be matched up with the best. Bring me the best wide receivers in the NFL. And that's exactly what we like to hear. Because you think about this. On one side, you got Jaire Alexander. On the other side, you got Nate Wiggins. Inside, you got Marlon Humphrey. Behind them, you got Super Duper Kyle. You got Malachi Starks. They said Malachi Starks been doing his thing too. Said he even picked off a little overthrown ball by Lamar Jackson, and he been showing up. Kyle Hamilton talked about Malachi Starks. He said Malachi Starks is way ahead of me from when I was a rookie. And if that's true, you know how dangerous that is? Seriously, because with Super Duper Kyle, with Kyle Hamilton, when he first started, his first couple of games, they were a little bit shaky. And you're like, oh, okay, what's up with number 14? Hey, he okay? But then, once he turned it on, he never looked back. So if Malachi Starks is truly ahead of Kyle Hamilton like he said he is, and remember what Zay Flowers said? He said Malachi Starks is like that. Said he's like that. So with that being said, with Kyle Hamilton speaking on Malachi Starks the way that he did, with Zay Flowers speaking on Malachi Starks the way that he did, Ravens defense is set up so nice. Roquan Smith I saw a couple of days ago, it was reported that Roquan Smith, that he was keeping up with Justice Hill on a passing play. Whoa, this is the same Roquan Smith that they said was out of shape. This is the same Roquan Smith that they said was sluggish all season, not just for the first couple of games, but throughout the season. It's the same Roquan Smith that they said had conditioning issues. Roquan Smith, whether intentionally or not, is certainly responding to all of that. You keeping up with Justice? Hey, Ro, you got it. And Roquan, he spoke about Trenton Simpson. Trenton Simpson is somebody, he said he completely transformed this offseason. He's a completely different player. So if Roquan is speaking highly of you like that, that says a couple of things. Obviously, he thinks highly of you, but also he's trying to give you that boost of confidence and really have you hold down that spot next to him because he sees something in you, and that's such a beautiful thing. Like this Baltimore Ravens defense overall, we knew that they could be special. We know that they have all the ability in the world to be amazing. But when we hear about how they're coming together, just after 3 days of training camp, how things have been looking, just after 3 days of training camp, everything that we've been hearing about from so many different players on this squad, Ravens are set up for so much greatness on defense. We didn't even talk about the offensive side of the ball yet. Now, me and my family, we just went on a week-long vacation, and it was a beautiful thing. It was nice to get away for a little while, take a little break from everything before the real grind of the season starts, because y'all know it gets crazy. But when I got back, I checked my mailing address, and y'all know, them Flock boys, they hooked me up with one of these, and I said, oh, man, them Flock boys hooking me up was so nice that they end up doing it twice. But they say, whoa, Ingraven, no. That's not for you. You got to give this away to somebody and Team Keep It Clean. I said, okay, I'm disappointed, but it's okay. It's all for the good of Team Keep It Clean. So if you would like to win this chain, all you got to do is follow me on Instagram and follow them Flock boys on Instagram. And under their post where they presented Jaire Alexander one of their chains, all you got to do is comment chain gang. We will pick a random winner on Monday. So make sure you're active on Instagram. Make sure you're checking your DMs. So if you win, you won't miss out. A battle that all of us are highly invested in is at kicker. Who is going to be officially replacing Justin Tucker at that position? Because there's a lot of pressure on them. And from what we heard from minicamp and OTAs, the whole kicking situation wasn't looking so good. But not only did Tyler Loop look a whole lot better, so did John Hoyland, because on the first day of training camp, it said Tyler Loop, he went 6 for 6. So he made every single field goal that he attempted on the first day. He said all of his attempts were from 40 and inside. And then John Hoyland, he was 4 out of 5. And his only miss was from 40 yards. So overall, that's pretty good with the kicking competition. I said, okay, we got something now, because we know a lot of us, we have been stressing out about this kicking situation because as we know, we personally as Ravens fans know, kicking changes everything. But how did they do the following day? The following day, John Hoyland, they said he took all the kicking reps, and he went 9 for 9 with a long of 43 yards. So John Hoyland said, look, that first day, I missed that kick. Disappointing. Shame on me. I done messed up. But he came back even stronger than he was on the previous day, making even more kicks and making all of them. So shout out to John Hoyland. But then Tyler Lue said, wait. I can't let you upstage me like that. And it says on the third day of training camp, Ravens kicker Tyler Loop, he went a perfect 10 for 10. And the longest was so heavy. The longest was a 63-yarder. The longest was 63 yards, man. Tyler Loop hit a 63-yarder. Team, keep it clean. I know we've been shaky on this whole situation, and we still got to get through preseason and stuff like that. And he got to be put in those tough situations because that's the only way we're really going to see what Tyler Loop or John Hoyland ends up being about. But the fact that the kicking situation is where it is now versus where it was a couple of weeks ago, yeah, it's a much better scenario. Now we've reached my favorite part of the videos where we feature your questions to take part in it. Send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. Or if you go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids, you could become a Team Keep It Clean patron and show a little extra support to the channel. And you can send your question in the DM on there. Before we get into it, we don't have a new Team Keep It Clean patron, but a current Team Keep It Clean patron upgraded their Patreon membership. So shout out to our guy, KT. I seriously appreciate you doing that. Thank you very, 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 very much for your willingness to support the channel the way that you do. So thank you, my friend. Now, let's get into these questions. First one that came from Keshawn. He said, "What's up, Ingraven? What's up, man?" He said, "Did you see that Nick Wright said that he doesn't think the Ravens have the best roster this year and didn't have the best roster last year, but didn't they not want to give him the MVP because his team was too good, or am I tripping?" Yeah, well, Nick Wright is a professional Baltimore Ravens fans baiter. He will throw that bait out there for Ravens fans to take it, and Ravens fans, we take it every time. Every single time. I know for a fact that Nick Wright, even though he speaks it with confidence, he don't believe half of the stuff that he be saying about the Baltimore Ravens. I know that he really, really doesn't. I enjoy though. He's entertaining. He's fun to listen to, but I know and you could tell that he just be trolling. Like anytime you talk about the Baltimore Ravens, I would say about 83% of the time he's probably trolling. So with Nick Wright, I wouldn't really take anything that he says too serious. Don't take it over the top because Nick Wright, he's just trying to get a rise out of Ravens fans. Next question came from my guy, Sebastian. He said, "Ingraven, just out of curiosity, what would it take for you to trade Mark Andrews before Week 8? Ooh, I wouldn't want to. I feel like you might as well just ride it out. Just ride it out. I know, obviously, he'll sign somewhere else in free agency because they're most likely going to sign Isaiah likely to a contract extension. But we'll see. Nothing's official till it's official. But I would much rather just keep him. Just for that versatility. Just for that 1-2-3 punch at tight end. Mark Andrews is still a phenomenal player. I know the playoff game happened. I know it was rough. I know it got uglier sometimes. But Mark Andrews is still a phenomenal player. He had like 1 million touchdowns, and he started off so slow last season. He had 11 of them? I forgot how many touchdowns he had, but he had a lot. And he started off the season really slow. And he had his first game like in forever where he didn't even have a catch. But to finish the season with as many touchdowns as he did, the impact is still there, man. Obviously, the playoffs, they got to clean some stuff up in the playoffs, but Mark Andrews is still an excellent player, so I would much rather keep him than trade him. But you did ask what would it take to trade Mark Andrews before Week 8. He said if Isaiah likely really just takes over and has over 400 yards before the trade deadline and Mark is just cold, would you cut your losses before free agency and trade him? Oh, so he said if Mark is just cold, if it ain't looking so good, I would probably still say no because we've seen Mark cold before. Not often, but we've seen Mark cold before, but he got it going again. But he got stuff shaking again. And you know, like Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Todd Monken, that offense is going to find a way to get him hot one way or another. Mark Andrews ain't going to stay cold forever. If he ever gets cold, he ain't going to stay cold for too long. So I wouldn't trade him, but if it came down, what would it take to trade him? I would think a second-round pick would definitely get it done. If all the scenarios and situations that you were talking about, they did happen, a second-round pick would be a lot, especially because they definitely ain't get that this offseason. But if they were able to get a second-round pick in the middle of the season for Mark Andrews, I think that's what it would take. And for him to go to the NFC. Could Micah be the answer? Ooh, you know he would be, but let's just get into the question first. Next question came from Skylar. He said, "Hey, man, I hope you and your family are doing great." We're doing phenomenal, Skylar. I appreciate that. He said, "I've been a Ravens fan for life and love your videos. You always keep me hyped. Hopefully this will be the year." I appreciate that, Skylar. Thank you. Thank you. He said, "What do you think about Micah Parsons not being signed? And do you see EDC making a move? In my opinion, he would fit our scheme." Oh, greetings from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Okay, Skylar. Okay, checking in from overseas. I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you. Now, as far as Micah Parsons, would he fit the scheme? He would definitely fit the scheme. Micah Parsons, it's some players where you'd be like, oh, man, I wonder how they would fit in with the team at this position, that position. But it's other players that they just ballers. And Micah Parsons is a baller. Will EDC make a move? No, he won't. Because Micah Parsons, he is going to cost a whole lot of money. So any team that would even think about trading for Micah Parsons, they would know they would have to pay the bank to Micah Parsons. Is he worth it? Yes. But Jerry Jones is going to take care of him. Jerry Jones does this all the time. He did it with Dak Prescott. He did it with CeeDee Lamb. He did it with Ezekiel Elliott. He waits until the past the last second, and then he signs his players to contract extensions. So I would expect the same thing to happen with Micah. Skylar asked if Micah Parsons was the answer, but EDC once thought Marcus Williams was going to be the answer for the Baltimore Ravens at the safety position. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And Marcus Williams, he detailed some of the reasons why, from his side, he feels it didn't work out. To see what he had to say about his departure, his ugly departure from the Baltimore Ravens and the entire situation, watch this video right here.